You slept 8 full hours. You ate a spotless organic breakfast. You drank your coffee. Yet by midday, your head feels heavy, your attention is fractured, and your thoughts feel trapped behind a thick layer of glass. Standard advice tells you it's a sleep issue, a motivation issue, or a caffeine crash. But neuroscience and microbiology have recently uncovered something much deeper. Your mental clarity isn't strictly controlled by your brain. It's governed by a hidden biological clock ticking inside your gut. And if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, the workouts, the supplements, the 8 hours, and still hitting a wall by 1 p.m., you're not imagining it. And you're not broken. You're simply missing the one system almost nobody talks about. The clock running underneath your digestive tract, quietly deciding how sharp or how foggy your afternoon is going to be. Inside your intestinal lining live over 100 trillion microorganisms. For years, science viewed them merely as a digestive cleanup crew. But groundbreaking research reveals these microbes operate on an independent circadian rhythm. Every hour of the day, specific bacterial colonies undergo massive shift changes. And in doing so, they orchestrate a rhythmic release of chemical messengers that dictate whether your brain fires with crystal clarity or drowns in cognitive fatigue. We've known about the brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, for decades. It responds to light, signaling when to release melatonin or cortisol. But your gut microbiome possesses its own peripheral circadian oscillator. Picture two orchestras trying to play the same symphony in two different rooms. When they're following the same conductor, the music is seamless. But when one orchestra drifts even slightly off tempo, the whole piece starts to sound wrong, even if each individual musician is technically playing their part correctly. That's what's happening between your brain and your gut when these two clocks fall out of step. Think of it as a biological metronome. Throughout a 24-hour cycle, the composition and physical position of your gut bacteria literally shift. During daytime hours, certain bacterial strains migrate closer to the intestinal mucosa to interact with your nervous system. At night, entirely different strains take over to repair the gut barrier. Here's where cognitive sharpness comes in. Your gut microbes produce a massive percentage of your body's neurotransmitter precursors, including GABA, dopamine, and serotonin. When your gut clock is synchronized with your brain clock, these chemical surges hit precisely when your prefrontal cortex needs the most. Dopamine gives you drive and motivation. Serotonin stabilizes your mood so your thoughts don't spiral. GABA keeps your nervous system from overfiring under stress. When all three arrive on schedule, focus feels effortless. When they don't, you reach for a fourth cup of coffee, chasing a chemical high that was never the actual problem. When those clocks fall out of sync, you experience what scientists call microbial jet lag, a state where your brain is asking for neurochemical fuel, but your gut clock is stuck in night mode. It's remarkably similar to the grogginess you feel stepping off a long-haul flight, except you never left your house. Your body is essentially living in two time zones at once, one set by the sun, the other set by what and when you last ate. How do gut microbes influence what happens inside your brain cells without physically traveling there? The secret lies in a dynamic wall, the blood-brain barrier. For decades, we thought the blood-brain barrier was a static brick wall, keeping metabolic waste out while letting glucose and oxygen in. We now know the blood-brain barrier's permeability opens and closes rhythmically throughout the day. During peak microbial rhythm, healthy bacteria ferment dietary fibers to produce short-chain fatty acids, specifically butyrate. Butyrate acts as a molecular key. It travels up to the brain and signals tight junction proteins to seal up tight, blocking systemic inflammatory molecules from entering brain tissue. However, if your microbial clock is disrupted, butyrate production plummets at the wrong time of day. The blood-brain barrier becomes subtly hyperpermeable. Low-grade inflammatory cytokines leak into the brain parenchyma, activating microglial cells, the brain's immune guards. The result? Instant brain fog, sluggish processing speed, and mental exhaustion. On a good day, with your rhythms aligned, this barrier behaves like a well-run security checkpoint, letting fuel in, keeping noise out. On a disrupted day, it's more like a door left slightly ajar, and your brain spends energy managing a low-grade alarm instead of getting on with the task in front of you. Why is this happening to so many people today despite eating clean? 3 modern habits decimate microbial oscillations. Late-night grazing. When you eat late at night, you force diurnal bacteria to work when they should be resting. This flips their circadian gene expression upside down. That harmless bowl of cereal at midnight isn't just extra calories. It's a wake-up call sent to a workforce that was supposed to be off the clock. Circadian mismatch. Exposure to bright screen light at night tricks your brain clock into thinking it's day, while your dark gut knows it's night. This brain-gut desynchronization scrambles signaling pathways. You end up with a brain that thinks it's still afternoon, and a gut that's already locked into its overnight repair mode. 2 systems working against each other instead of together. Emulsifiers and preservatives, synthetic additives, strip away the protective mucosal layer, preventing bacteria from properly anchoring to signal the vagus nerve at key biological times. Even foods marketed as healthy can carry these additives, quietly undermining the very signaling system this whole video is about. If you want to eliminate persistent brain fog and align your gut clock with your brain clock, you need to lock in 3 key biological anchors. 1. Establish a strict 10-hour feeding window. This is called the meal timing anchor. Limit all caloric intake to a consistent 10-hour window each day. For example, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Fasting for the remaining 14 hours allows the microbial population to undergo its required nighttime structural repair cycle. 2. Front-load polyphenols at breakfast. This is the microbial signaling anchor. Consume polyphenol-rich foods, dark berries, green tea, or extra virgin olive oil during your first meal. Polyphenols serve as a direct circadian prompt to morning-active bacterial strains like Akkermansia. 3. Morning light plus early hydration. This is the dual clock reset. Get 10 minutes of direct sunlight within 30 minutes of waking while drinking 16 ounces of water with a pinch of unrefined salt. This simultaneously anchors the brain's master clock and triggers the gut's gastrocolic reflex. None of these anchors require a supplement, a subscription, or a single dollar spent. They simply require consistency. Most people who commit to all 3 report a noticeable shift in mental clarity within 1 to 2 weeks as both clocks slowly realign to the same rhythm. Focus isn't just a mental muscle you force with willpower or caffeine. It's the downstream product of a beautifully choreographed ecosystem living inside your gut. Align your microbial clock, and mental clarity becomes your natural default state. If this deep dive helped you understand your body on a deeper level, hit the like button and subscribe. Drop a comment below with your current eating window. I'll be down there answering questions for the first couple of hours. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.